Okay, we're here in round one. We've got a one-lander. I think we got a mullet. I don't like the one-landers. We should see if we can do better. Yeah, this is good. We've actually got all three colors and still have a 2-drop, so certainly an upgraded 6-drop hand. Salt Road Patrol, perfectly reasonable draw. No 2-drop is a welcome sight when we're on the mulligan. All right, and we can cast Abzan Charm for drawing cards if we need it too, which is actually kind of nice since it, I don't know, gives us some card advantage. Let's get our green source out there, I guess. Kind of tells our opponent what we are, but that's okay. So I guess if we miss our land drop, I could technically use Abzan Charm as a draw card thing, which is nice. But I think for now we're probably just going to outlast our guy and pass. Well, it's a good draw. So now we get to outlast and possibly play Kirin or Salt Road Patrol next turn. I think we're more likely doing the Kirin, even though the Patrol would in fact have first strike. Getting in with a morph. Following up with Warname Aspirant, which is quite good actually. Well, I think we're just going to get in with our Bondkin and then drop the Salt Road Patrol. The Kirin seems less appealing if he's going to crack back with the Warname Aspirant. And then this way, if he kills one of my guys, I at least can follow up with a Mandrills, which is quite nice. I'm trying to think what I'm worried about here. If it's a Glacial Stalker, I'm not worried. If it's a Canyon Lurkers, I'm not worried. This doesn't have first strike yet. I should have mentioned that. Let's see if he's got Singing Bell Strike. That would have been good there. All right. No fears there yet, which is nice. Let's get in with Bondkin. And then we'll follow up with Kirin. Could have Will of the Naga, which would be quite good, but not the end. Could have Force Away as well. So we don't know what the morph is yet, and my best guesses are Glacial Stalker, Canyon Lurkers, Monastery Flock. Trying to think. Inoc Tracker, I guess, is something. Could be. It's just morphing. All right. Tormenting Voice. That's interesting. All right. So he pitched a Summit Prowler to dig up a couple more cards. We do have Abzan Charm at our disposal now, but I still think we're likely playing the Hooting Mandrills. Let's get in with these two. I want to see how he blocks. I'll definitely use the Abzan Charm aggressively if it comes to that. Okay, well, if he's just taking it. Could have Barrage of Boulders, but it still wouldn't kill us, so I think we're just going to take a Mandrills here and pass. This can give +1/+1 counters, which should work pretty well alongside the Bondkin. Just playing against blue-red, it would appear. So does he have like a mob rule or something? No plays. That's interesting. Sky Captain seems pretty good. Let's Let's just bash in with the Kieran. I mean, well, that's interesting, actually. I could bash in with the Bondkin and the Mandrills as well. He likely can only unmorph one thing, and if he does unmorph it, I just Abzan Charm it plus Sky Captain. I think that's probably better. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, so I guess we'll let that resolve. We're still going to Charm kill the 1,000 Winds. So we'll get in with our dude still. And we'll get to follow up with a Sky Captain, so this turn is actually still okay. It's got to deal with a couple flyers here. All right. Well, guess we'll swing. Play Blossoming Sands. Play the Mandrills plus the Bondkin. Pass. Two cards left in our opponent's hand. Still don't know what this morph is, but the most likely candidates were not, in fact, what his morph was. 1,000 Winds is a strong card. I'm pretty lucky, or fortunate, I should say, to have had the Abzan Charm. He does have Mob Rule, so let's see how much he's going to deal. He's going to get to deal 2, 4, 6, 8, 11, 15, 17 right now. That's not, it's not lethal. Does he have Active Treason on top of that? That would be pretty brutal. Mob Rule is just such a fantastically powerful card. I don't think we're dead still. Well, let me do a quick count again. 2, 5, 7, 11, 13, 16, 18. Well, if it's only 18, I think we're just going to kill his Warname Aspirant and take the rest. Okay, so beat the Mob Rule and beat the 1,000 Winds, and I don't think you can get much more value on a Mob Rule than that, so I'm glad that we were able to preserve our life total enough to get that game. I still don't necessarily feel comfortable going into the Villainous Wealth plan. I think he's got enough cheap stuff where that could potentially work out pretty poorly for us. On the draw, I do like Bitter Revelation less. I could see the justification to bring in the Parapet on the draw, since we're already short on creatures. And it blocks his Summit Prowler, it blocks his Prowess dude, it blocks his does not block his Warname Aspirant. That's an important one to note. Um, doesn't block his flyers. Did I forget to check what his morph was? I'll have to look in the chat window on the next one. I don't know if he's straight up balls to the wall aggressive enough where I need to feed the clan. So I'm not sure that's in order. But I do like Bitter Revelation less on the draw. I think I'm going to take out the Revelation for a Parapet. Just gives us a little bit of more early defense building time. The problem with, I mean, the major issue with that is what are we building towards? I guess we're just trying to stabilize and potentially win with either flyers or outlast guys, which isn't the greatest plan. But I don't like the idea of Bitter Revelation on the draw for some reason, especially against a deck that can potentially come out of the gate swinging pretty fast. And like I said, Parapet actually blocks quite a few creatures that we already know about. I think I'm justified enough to do it like this. All right. So, for example, with this hand, I do think Parapet looks a lot more attractive in this hand than a Bitter Revelation would have. So, we'll keep this. Like, now I at least have something I can defend with early while I get my flyer online or my good removal. I already have an untapped black mana, so we'll go for the green-white first. Kind of have to play that one first if I want to play the turn 2 Parapet. Alright, just dashing. So we'll put down our Parapet now. And now we have our Abzan Charm online, which is nice. No blue mana out of our opponent yet, which I think is important to note. Alright, play the Outpost and pass. Next turn we get to go Sky Captain. Gotta remember to use Parapet here as well. Alright, so I've got the blocker for those. Pretty happy with my Parapet at the moment. That's interesting. I think we still just jam the Sky Captain. The nice thing is if the Sky Captain dies, pumping the Parapet's really not the worst against this board. Like, he could have Trumpet Blast here, but then I'll play my Mandrills, so I actually don't care. I want to play my Mandrills either way next turn. So, making this trade. Alright. So, taking 6 damage, I think, which is actually quite a bit, but that Temur Battle Rage wasn't going to be any better later, I don't think. And we still got to kill his guy because of the first strike. Yeah, that actually worked out better than... That even worked out better than probably both of us thought it was going to. Alright, I'm definitely playing untapped land Mandrills here. I mean, it didn't work out well for him, I should say. It worked out way better for me. Sometimes I get this weird lag thing. Oh, it's because I haven't delved yet. But sometimes I do get a weird lag thing where it like takes a little while to cast a spell, and I don't know why. But I do like Become Immense on a Mandrills. That is a nutso amount of damage. And having a 2/7 blocker is pretty nice too. Bloodfire Enforcers. Harsh Sustenance. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good draw. I think we're just going to swing with the Mandrills and pass. Maybe pass. Alright, well, gonna awaken. 2 can play at this pumping business. Sitting on a pretty good hand right now since we've got a nice blocker that's pinging him down. Got Abzan Charm for when stuff gets hairy. Bondkin's a good draw. Guess I pre-combat Bondkin. The reason I'm doing this is gives me, still works fine with Harsh Sustenance, but lets me Abzan Charm for some pretty good value. Can't quite become immense yet, so I think we'll just deal the damage and pass. I don't think our opponent shifted into mono red, right? Doesn't make too much sense. Swing with these 2. I think become immense is going to be enough to get there. All right. So he didn't shift out of blue, he just didn't see any blue. So mana issues for our opponent and a victory for us. And the deck played pretty well for us, actually. I'm very satisfied with how the Parapet sideboard plan worked out against this deck, so that's satisfying. We'll see if we ever end up going into that Villainous Wealth sideboard plan. It's pretty doubtful, but if we play against something slow, I could see it. I could see it being something I might want to do. All right, we'll see you in round 2.